I never thought a delayed flight would lead to her whispering, inches from my face in that cramped galley, "Stay with me tonight. I'll make it worth the wait." I should have said no. Should have taken my luggage, gone home to my empty apartment, and never looked back. But her eyes held something I'd been missing for months: permission to be reckless. So, when she slipped me her hotel keycard, along with my third complimentary whiskey, I pocketed it without hesitation. I'd spent 30 years avoiding turbulence, personal, professional, emotional, choosing the smooth flight path, the safe altitude, the predictable route. That decision would complicate everything I thought I knew about myself. And I'd make it again. Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing mechanical issues. This flight is delayed indefinitely. Groans erupted through economy. I closed my laptop, resigned. Another night away from home. Another presentation missed. My boss would love this. More wine? The flight attendant stood there with a bottle of red, slight smile playing at her lips. Mid-40s. I'd guess. Dark hair pulled back severely, but a few silver strands had escaped around her temples. Laugh lines framed intelligent brown eyes. She looked lived in, real. It was terrifying how attractive that was. "We're not even in the air," I said. "Compensation for the inconvenience." She poured without waiting for my answer, the red wine catching the overhead lights. "You looked like you needed it 3 hours ago." "Maybe 4. That obvious? I've been doing this 17 years. I can spot existential crisis from the cockpit. You've checked your phone 14 times, haven't touched your laptop in an hour, and you're on your third heavy sigh." She tilted her head slightly. "Work trouble or life trouble?" I laughed, first genuine one in weeks. "Is there a difference?" "Always. Work trouble you can fix. Life trouble just teaches you things you didn't want to learn." Her smile was knowing. Lived in. Those are my favorite kind. Existential crises make terrible conversation. She moved to the next row, but glanced back, eyes lingering just a moment too long. "I'm Sophie. By the way, wave if you need anything. Looks like we'll be here a while. Might as well be miserable together. Sophie." Of course. Elegant and efficient, just like her. I watched her work the cabin, calming an angry businessman with a hand on his shoulder, making a kid laugh by folding a napkin into a swan, diffusing tension with that practiced ease that comes from 10,000 flights. Every movement, deliberate. She commanded that narrow aisle like it was a stage. My phone buzzed. "Emma, my ex, heard about your flight. Bet you're miserable." I deleted it without finishing. 4 months since the breakup, and she still found ways to remind me of every risk I didn't take. "You're too careful, David. Too safe. I need someone who makes me feel alive." She'd left for a guy who proposed after 6 weeks. I was still alone, still playing it safe, still proving her point. I looked up at Sophie, watching her handle an irate passenger with calm authority. She wasn't safe. There was something about the way she moved, confident, unapologetic, present. She looked like someone who'd stopped caring what people thought and found freedom in it. When she passed my row again, I caught her eye. "Another refill?" she asked. "Why not?" I said. "Apparently I have nowhere to be. Attention passengers. We're canceling this flight. Please proceed to customer service for rebooking and hotel vouchers." The cabin exploded with complaints. I gathered my things slowly, exhausted. Another night in another airport hotel. Another evening staring at my phone. Not calling anyone because there was no one to call. Sophie appeared beside my row as I stood. "Rough day? Rough year, actually." "I'm sorry." She paused, studying me with unsettling directness. "Look, this is completely unprofessional, but there's a decent bar 2 blocks from the airport hotel. I'll be there in an hour if you want a drink from someone who's not contractually obligated to be nice to you." My brain screamed caution. Don't get involved. Don't complicate things. Be professional. Be safe. "I'll be there," I heard myself say. Her smile changed. Not polite. Knowing. Good. I rarely take risks on strangers. Try not to make me regret this one. The bar smelled like bourbon and old leather, dark mahogany booths worn smooth by 1,000 transient conversations, brass fixtures catching amber light from Edison bulbs that hummed softly overhead. Jazz played low through invisible speakers, saxophone notes sliding over the clink of ice in heavy-bottomed glasses. I found Sophie at the corner booth. Out of uniform now, black sweater, hair down and falling past her shoulders in dark waves threaded with silver. Her perfume cut through it all jasmine and something warmer, like cedar after rain. She looked up from her wine glass. For a moment, neither of us said anything. You came? She sounded genuinely surprised. Pleased. You sound like you didn't think I would. 70-30 odds. You have that responsible decision-maker look. The kind of guy who reconsiders risky propositions from strange women. Once you're off the plane, she slid a whiskey toward me, amber liquid, 2 fingers, single ice cube melting slowly. I ordered for you. Seemed like a whiskey night. Am I wrong? You're not wrong. I sat down. The booth was smaller than it looked. Intimate. Our knees touched under the table. Neither of us moved away. The leather creaked beneath me, warm from her body heat. You don't waste time. I'm 44 years old and I've spent 20,000 hours in the air. I've learned not to waste time on small talk when there's actual conversation to be had. Life's too short for, how about this weather? 44. I was 30. The number sat between us like a third person at the table. She saw me calculating, saw the moment my brain did the math. 14 years. She could have babysat me. Her high school graduation was the year I started kindergarten. The air shifted slightly. Problem? She asked. Just. Surprised you're telling me. Would you prefer I lied? No. I'm just used to people dancing around things. I stopped dancing around things at 40. One of the better perks of aging. You run out of patience for bullshit. So, crisis. Talk to me. And I did. Maybe the anonymity of a stranger, maybe the whiskey, maybe the way she listened, like every word mattered. I told her about Emma leaving because I was too predictable, about my promotion going to someone more dynamic, about my mom's disappointment when I said no. Still no girlfriend. No, I wasn't trying that hard. I'm 30 years old. I finished, staring into my whiskey like it held answers. And I feel like I'm disappearing, like I'm becoming beige furniture in my own life. Present but forgettable, functional but nobody's favorite. Sophie was quiet for a moment. The saxophone played something mournful. Someone laughed too loud at the bar. Then, can I tell you something? Please. My ex-husband left me 3 years ago. Said I was married to the job, that I cared more about flight schedules than our marriage. He wasn't wrong. She traced the rim of her glass, red wine catching the light. I spent 20 years building a career, being excellent at something. And when he left, I realized I'd forgotten how to be anything else. Forgot how to be reckless or spontaneous or young. You don't seem like you forgot. I'm relearning. Slowly. Badly. She looked up. The vulnerability in her eyes beneath the confidence made my chest tight. Inviting passengers to bars? That's not me. I've never done this. But you looked like someone who needed to be seen, and I needed to remember how to take a risk. The air between us changed. Charged. The booth felt smaller. I could see the tiny scar on her upper lip. Could count her eyelashes if I wanted to. Could smell the wine on her breath mixed with jasmine. This is insane, I said quietly. Turbulence usually is, Sophie replied. But you don't avoid it by staying on the ground. You fasten your seatbelt and fly through it. You're 44. I'm 30. I'm aware. We're strangers. For now. Her hand moved across the table. Stopped inches from mine. Not touching. But close enough that I felt every nerve ending wake up. Felt the heat of her palm hovering over my knuckles. I have a hotel room, she said. 2 blocks from here. I'm going there in 10 minutes. If you want to finish your drink and leave, no judgment. If you want to be reckless for one night, room 412. She stood, dropped cash on the table, started toward the door. I should have let her go. Should have finished my whiskey, gone to my own hotel, caught the morning flight home to my predictable life. Instead, I followed her into the night. Her hotel room smelled like lemon disinfectant and recycled air, corporate beige punctuated by a landscape print of nowhere. Polyester bedspread scratchy beneath my palms. But the way she closed the door, turning the deadbolt with deliberate slowness, made it the only room that mattered. Second thoughts? She asked, not moving from the door. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Want to leave? I looked at her. Really looked. The vulnerability in her eyes beneath the confidence. The slight tremor in her hands. She was as terrified as I was. No, I said, not even a little. She smiled, relieved, nervous, wanting, stepped closer. The temperature in the room climbed. Her sweater brushed my shirt. We stood facing each other, neither moving, both knowing that touching would decide something irrevocable. "I don't do this," she said quietly. "In case that matters. I don't invite passengers to bars. I don't bring strangers to my room. I haven't. It's been 3 years since I've—" She trailed off. I understood. "It matters," I said. "For what it's worth, I don't do this either. I'm the guy who goes home alone. The responsible one. The safe choice. I don't even know your last name." "Harrison. David Harrison. Marketing consultant, Boston. Sophie Chen. Flight attendant, 17 years. Nowhere in particular." She extended her hand formally. Absurdly. I took it. Her grip was firm, warm, her skin soft against my palm. Her pulse beat against my fingertips, rapid, alive. We shook hands like business associates while standing 6 inches apart in her hotel room, the absurdity of it suddenly hitting us both. Then she laughed soft, surprised, genuine. "This is ridiculous. Completely ridiculous," I agreed, but neither of us let go. Her thumb traced my knuckles in small circles. Such a small gesture. It felt enormous. It felt like everything. "I fly this route twice a week. Boston to Phoenix, Phoenix to Boston. If we do this, whatever this is, there's a non-zero chance we'll see each other again. At the airport. On a plane. In real life, not just this bubble. Is that a warning? It's a fact. Full disclosure." She paused, choosing words carefully. "I don't do one-night stands well. I catch feelings. I get attached. I think about people at inappropriate times. It's annoying and inconvenient, and I've never figured out how to stop it." "I'm already attached," I said. "You made me laugh for the first time in months. So, if we're confessing things, I'll be thinking about you too. Probably at very inappropriate times." She kissed me. Soft. Testing. I kissed her back, less soft. More certain. Her hands found my collar. Pulled me closer. We stumbled toward the bed, knocking into the desk chair, laughing and kissing and removing clothing with the graceless urgency of people who'd forgotten how to be reckless. The sheets smelled like industrial starch. Her skin tasted like salt. Outside, planes took off every 3 minutes, their engines drowning out everything but our breathing. Later we lay in the dark, her head on my chest, both breathing hard. "Regrets?" she asked. "I thought about Emma, my mom, feeling invisible. About Sophie's hand-tracing patterns on my ribs. Not even a little." She propped up on one elbow. "Hair a mess, makeup smudged, utterly beautiful." "I fly back Friday," she said. "Through Boston. I live in Boston. I know. You told me." "At the bar." "Right. Yes. Boston. Room 412, Friday night. If you want." "I want." She kissed me again. "Good. Because I'm terrible at one-night stands. But I'm excellent at really bad decisions. This might be my best one yet." Friday I left work early. Told my boss I had a doctor's appointment. He didn't believe me but didn't question it. I grabbed my coat and left before I could change my mind. The hotel bar was becoming our place. The corner booth, the same bartender who now knew our orders, the jazz music that felt like it played just for us. Sophie was already there, still in uniform, hair pulled back, exhaustion written in the lines around her eyes, but smiling, really smiling when she saw me walk in. "You came," she said. "Did you think I wouldn't?" 60-40 odds this time. Thought maybe daylight would restore your common sense. I slid into the booth. Our knees touched immediately. Apparently my common sense is broken. "Thank God." She pushed a whiskey toward me. "We need to talk." My stomach dropped. Here it comes. The letdown. The "this was fun, but" speech. "My ex called," she said. "Wanted to talk about closure. 3 years later. He had talking points on his phone. He saw your text. Laughed. Said I was having a midlife crisis. That I'd regret slumming it with some kid. Anger flared hot. That's exactly what my sister said. That dating someone 30 is embarrassing. Like you're something to be ashamed of." Her hands shook. I covered them with mine. "I'm telling you this because you should know what you're getting into. Full disclosure, Total honesty. Her voice was steady, but her hands trembled. My family thinks I'm having a breakdown. My ex thinks I'm pathetic and delusional. My coworkers would have opinions, so many opinions, if they knew I was dating a passenger. This isn't just fun. This isn't simple. It's complicated and messy and comes with baggage and judgment and people whispering about us. Do you think you're crazy? I asked quietly. She considered it, really considered it, looking at me with those impossibly honest eyes that had first caught me on that delayed flight. Sometimes, she admitted. Then I see you and I feel 25 again. Young and reckless and alive. Is that pathetic? That I need someone younger to feel like I'm not just fading? You make me feel like I matter, I said. Like I'm not just furniture. Like I'm someone worth knowing. Not just someone reliable and boring and safe. Is that crazy? That I need someone who's lived more life to see me clearly? She smiled. Small, real, sad and hopeful at once. Probably. We're probably both crazy. Then let's be crazy together. Let them talk. Let them judge. I'd rather be crazy with you than sane and alone. Your family will have opinions too, she warned. When you tell them. If you tell them. I know. Your friends will make cougar jokes. They'll think it's funny. Or sad. Or both. I know. They're already making jokes. I told my roommate I was seeing someone, and he immediately asked if she had kids my age. Thought he was hilarious. We'll be the subject of gossip and judgment. Every time we're together in public, people will do math. They'll assume things. Your boss will have thoughts. My colleagues will whisper, "It doesn't stop." I know. I took her hand across the table, held it tight. Her pulse beat against my palm, rapid, frightened, alive. I know all of that, and I don't care. You're the first thing that's felt real in a year. The first person who sees me as more than just a reliable cog in the machine. Everything else can figure itself out. Everyone else can have their opinions. But I'm choosing this. I'm choosing you. She squeezed my hand. Room 412? Is there any other room? 3 weeks became 3 months. Friday nights became Friday and Sunday nights, then added Wednesday when her schedule changed. The hotel bar became our place, our booth, permanently reserved in my mind even when other people sat there. Room 412 became our sanctuary from the world that didn't understand and didn't need to. We built routines, small, domestic things that shouldn't have mattered but somehow meant everything. She learned I took coffee black with 2 sugars, needed 10 minutes of silence before I could speak in the morning. I learned she was impossible before her second cup, that she sang off-key in the shower and didn't care who heard, that she always packed her suitcase the same way, shoes in corners, uniform folded with military precision. I met her friend's flight attendants with sharp eyes who did the mental math but watched how Sophie laughed with me. Patricia told me, "You're good for her. Don't fuck it up, kid." She met my friends who made the predicted jokes, then saw how we moved together. "You smile differently now," Jake said. "Good weird." My mom was harder, so much harder. I met someone, I told her over Sunday brunch. Month 4. Eggs, Benedict, and mimosas, and the conversation I'd been dreading. That's wonderful. Her whole face lit up like I'd given her the best gift. Finally. Sophie. She's a flight attendant. We met on a delayed flight. How exciting. A flight attendant. That's so glamorous. Here it comes. The moment that changes everything. She's 44. My mom set down her coffee cup. Carefully, the clink of ceramic on saucer too loud in the suddenly quiet restaurant. 44, she repeated. Not a question. A statement of fact she was trying to process. You're 30. Still processing. Still trying to find the angle that made this make sense. I'm aware. Long silence. She dabbed her mouth with her napkin, composing herself. The people at the next table laughed about something. Life continuing around our frozen moment. Is this serious? Very. David. Honey. She leaned forward, voice dropping to that maternal tone that meant trouble. I don't understand. I'm trying to understand. Why would you, what could you possibly have in common with someone so much? Don't. I said quietly. Don't say older. Say what you mean. You think I'm being stupid. You think I'm having some kind of crisis. I think you're being impulsive. This isn't like you. You've always been so sensible, so careful. Ever since Emma left, you've been This has nothing to do with Emma, doesn't it? Who makes me happy? I interrupted, voice harder than I intended. My hand clenched around my fork. Who sees me as a complete person, not a project? Who takes me seriously, instead of treating me like I'm not enough, not successful enough, not exciting enough, not whatever enough? What happens in 10 years? 20? What about children? I think about it every day, I said. And I'd rather have whatever time we get than play it safe and end up alone. I stood, pulled cash for the check. I'm not asking permission. I'm telling you I'm in love with her. I'm done apologizing for being happy. I'm done making myself smaller. I left. She didn't call for 3 weeks. Month 5, Sophie got promoted, supervisor of international routes, based in New York. It means less Boston, she said over FaceTime from Dubai, exhausted. Maybe twice a month. We'll make it work. Will we? I can't ask you to wait around for twice monthly hotel rooms. You're not asking. I'm choosing. I moved closer to the camera. Because you're brilliant and brave. Because with you, I'm not invisible anymore. I'd rather have 2 days a month with you than every day with someone who doesn't make me feel alive. She wiped her eyes. I'm scared. Me too. But we'd hit turbulence, not the relationship kind. The logistical kind. Geography and schedules. But turbulence doesn't mean crashing. It just means holding on tighter. Month 7. Sophie's promotion came through. Supervisor of international routes. Prestigious. Demanding. Based in New York. Not Boston. She told me over dinner. Room 412. Take out Thai food on the bed because we'd stopped pretending this was just about sex months ago. New York? I said. New York? That's far. 3.5 hours by train. But not Boston. No, not Boston. She set down her food, couldn't eat. Her hands were shaking. I don't have to take it. I could stay on my current routes. Don't, I said. Don't even think about turning this down for me. It's not just for you, Sophie. You've worked 17 years for this. You don't get to sacrifice your career because we're whatever we are. In love? She suggested quietly. Inconveniently in love. She laughed, then stopped. New York has opportunities. You're in marketing. There are firms, major firms. Are you asking me to move? I'm saying it's an option. If you wanted, no pressure. Just an option. I stared at her. This woman who'd been so careful not to ask for too much, so conscious of our age difference, so worried about being the older woman leading the younger man astray, now offering me an opening. My lease is up in 2 months, I said slowly. Is it? And I've been thinking about new jobs. Boston feels stagnant. Does it? And I really hate this apartment. Do you? I kissed her. Ask me properly. I can't. It's too much, too fast. Ask me anyway. She took a breath. Her eyes were bright, terrified, hopeful. Move to New York with me. Get an apartment together. Try this, actually try this. Not just hotel rooms and FaceTime. Build something real. It's crazy and fast and everyone will say we're insane. She stopped. Yes? Absolutely yes. Enthusiastically yes. Can't believe you finally asked yes. David, this is huge. You need to think. I've thought. For 7 months I've thought. Mom, I've been coasting at safe altitude my whole life. Avoiding any turbulence. This Sophie, your turbulence. Beautiful, terrifying turbulence. And I'd rather fly through storms with you than cruise safely alone forever. She kissed me. Hard. Certain. Different than every other kiss. This one tasted like commitment, like future, like risk accepted. We're really doing this, she said against my mouth. We're really doing this. Everyone is going to think we're crazy. Let them. The move was chaos. My mom still wasn't speaking to me. Sophie's sister called it reckless. My friends thought I was having some quarter-life crisis. But on moving day, standing in our half-unpacked Brooklyn apartment, our apartment, together Sophie looked at me and smiled. Brooklyn smells different than Manhattan, less exhaust, more tree pollen from the maples lining our street. Our apartment catches afternoon sun through east-facing windows, warming the hardwood. Sophie insisted we refinish ourselves despite neither of us knowing how. Her flight attendant uniform hangs in the closet next to my marketing suits, navy and charcoal, hers crisp and mine perpetually wrinkled. The fridge hums off-key. The radiator clanks at 3 a.m. like clockwork. Our downstairs neighbor's kid practices trumpet at 6 p.m. every Tuesday. The notes drifting up through thin floors. It's imperfect and expensive, and the shower pressure is terrible. It's home. No regrets? She asked, standing among boxes and bubble wrap and Allen wrenches from the IKEA furniture we'd spent 4 hours assembling wrong. Not one. It's a one-bedroom. It's tiny. It's perfect. You gave up a lot to be here. I gained more. She crossed the room, wrapped her arms around me. We stood there, among the scattered pieces of our previous lives, building something new. Outside, someone was cooking curry. A car alarm went off, was silenced. The city hummed its constant song. I love you, she said, even though this is probably a disaster in progress. I love you. Especially because it's a disaster in progress. Your mom will come around. Eventually, maybe. My ex will always think I'm pathetic. His loss entirely. People will judge us. Let them. She pulled back, looked up at me. Her hair smelled like jasmine, always jasmine. What? Keep your seatbelt fastened. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But you'll get through it if you hold on tight. I kissed her. Then let's hold on tight. 1 year later. Thanksgiving at my parents' house. Sophie's hand was cold in mine as we walked up the driveway. November in Vermont meant gray skies and the smell of wood smoke. Leaves mulched wet beneath our feet. We can leave whenever you want, I said. I'm fine. You're terrified. Your hand is freezing. Okay, I'm terrified. She stopped at the door. What if she hates me? She won't hate you. What if she's polite but cold and I can feel her judging me the whole time? And I kissed her. She's trying. That's why we're here. Because she called and invited us. Both of us. By name. The door opened before we could knock. My mom stood there, apron on, hair grayer than I remembered. She looked at Sophie for a long moment. Then, you must be Sophie. Come in, please. It's freezing out there. The house smelled like turkey and sage. My mom led us to the kitchen, poured wine with steady hands. Thank you for inviting us, Sophie said. You're important to my son. Even if I don't fully understand it, I'm trying to. Can I help? Do you know how to peel potatoes? I can peel potatoes in turbulence. My mom smiled. Then you're hired. We ate at 3. My mom asked Sophie about flying. Sophie asked about Vermont, about raising kids here. Watching them, I realized how similar they were. Both independent, strong, complicated. After dinner, doing dishes, my mom asked, He's good to you? Very. I worried he was making a mistake. I worried too, Sophie said honestly. But he chose this with his eyes open. I just try to be worth that choice every day. Silence. Then my mom. You make him happy. I see it. The apartment is bigger now. 2-bedroom in Brooklyn. Photos cover the walls, us in Boston, Dubai, Thanksgiving, with my parents smiling. Tonight, Sophie's flight gets in at 9. I've cooked dinner, candles on the table, wine breathing, text from her. Landing in 20. Can't wait to come home to you. Home. We built that against everyone's advice. Despite 14 years difference, judgmental relatives, whispered comments, she drops her bag at 9:30, kicks off heels, crosses the room to kiss me, still in uniform, smelling like recycled air and jasmine. Hi, she says. Hi yourself. You cooked. Attempted to cook. There's a difference. She laughs. It smells amazing. It smells like burning. But I love you for lying. I love you for trying. She kisses me again. Deeper. Remember that first flight? When I thought you looked like you needed wine? Best delayed flight of my life. The one that taught me turbulence isn't something to avoid, it's something to fly through. I told myself it was crazy. You were too young. I was too old. It could never work. And look at us now. Still crazy. She smiles against my mouth. You know what I told my supervisor today? She asked, how we make it work, the age gap, the schedules, all of it. What did you say? I said, we don't try to make sense to other people. We just make sense to each other. That's enough. I pull her close, breathe in jasmine and the miracle of ordinary evenings. That's more than enough. That's everything. You know what you're not anymore? She asks. What? Beige furniture. Forgettable. Safe. You're vivid now, David. Every messy, complicated, beautiful color. You still wear jasmine, I say. You still notice. She kisses me. After a year, most people stop noticing. I'll notice at year 50, I promise. Outside, Brooklyn hums with evening life. Inside, we're home. Imperfect, unconventional, absolutely home. Remember room 412? Our first room, our safe place, before we knew what we were building. Every hotel room since has been a disappointment, but it turns out home is better than $400 a night corporate beige. We'd found our turbulence, and we were flying through it together. And every single impossible day, I'd choose her all over again.